Hi! Welcome to this part of my review featuring the SLA Industries 2nd edition role-playing game. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review, featuring this noir sci-fi splatterpunk experience, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time we are going to take a look at how the ebb works mechanically speaking, that is, according to the game rules. When it comes to ebb disciplines, they are used like other skills, in any situation that the player and/or game master deems them suitable. Most ebb disciplines can be used during combat, particularly those which allow the formation of weapons or projectile attacks, but the majority of ebb disciplines are likely to be used during the course of the story, for healing, discovering information, or aiding movement around Mord City. In order to use an ebb discipline, the user must be wearing a death suit or have possession of a highly illegal glyph card. Whenever an ebb discipline is used, it requires two things: the expenditure of a flux point and a calculation test. An ebonite character who has no available flux points to spend will be unable to use their ebb disciplines until they have replenished a point or more. Each time an ebb discipline is used, 1 point of flux must be spent, regardless of the applicable skill rank, or whether the test to use the discipline is successful or not. Let's talk about calculation tests. In order to successfully use an ebb discipline, the ebonite must perform a calculation test. This represents the mind of the character running the hyperbolic equations required to summon the required raw energies to evoke the discipline. Most commonly, the knowledge of a particular discipline will be stored to the user's death suit, but it is also possible to evoke such disciplines by reading arcane and highly illegal glyph cards, which contain the equations needed to perform the discipline. During a combat round, calculate the ebb is considered an action, like any other, and if successful, allows the ebonite to use the ebb discipline to attack or move or heal, etc. When used outside of combat, such tests are considered to take only a few seconds. After spending the required point of flux, the calculation test is made like any other skill roll, by rolling the success die and one skill die for each rank that a character has in the relevant discipline plus 1, then adding the applicable skill bonus for the ebb discipline being used. Ebb disciplines are added to the character's concentration stat. Unlike other skill rolls, each ability within an ebb discipline has its own target number, known as a formulae rating, or FR. Like other skill rolls, a total which is equal to or greater than this number represents a success. Any successful roll which allows for an immediate attack, such as the blast discipline, will need to be followed up with an actual roll to hit. Effectively, a successful concentration test indicates that the ability has been summoned, but an additional roll is required to determine whether it hits its target. Now, concerning ebb disciplines and margin of success or failure, when making skill rolls for ebb disciplines, the margin of success or failure is also taken into consideration, though unlike normal skill rolls, the differing levels of success and failure will have a specific impact. Notable successes in performing ebb disciplines can lead to more damage coming from ebb attacks, the ability to repeat the use of the discipline, or even summoning back the flux that was spent to perform the ability. You have a table explaining the bonuses that may be granted. Note that the bonuses granted are all fairly different, and it is not possible to downgrade to a lower bonus if it better suits your needs. The ebb is an unpredictable resource, and the gifts that it grants to its users are not always useful to them. So depending on the number of dice, maybe if you are using an ebb discipline that has to do with attack, it does plus 1 damage. Or maybe you can use the same ebb discipline ability again within 5 minutes, but at minus 3 formulae rating, or FR. For those who fail to calculate the ebb correctly, the consequences can be devastating, as the mind becomes tangled in the failed equations and the weight of the ebb hammers the brain repeatedly with images and information, draining the ebonite both mentally and physically. Normal failure comes with no additional consequences. However, should a serious failure be achieved, a failure on all dice being rolled, during a calculate the ebb action, the Ebonite immediately suffers 3 hit points, which cannot be prevented, and loses a point of flux if they have any left to lose. Additionally, the recover action must be taken during the next combat round if the Ebonite is currently in a combat situation. Now, concerning regenerating flux, as flux is a finite resource, it is important that Ebonites can regenerate it. The Eb passes through Ebonites constantly, allowing them to regain 1 point of spent flux every 2 hours. In addition to this, Dark Lament, the department responsible for developing all manner of Eb-related products, manufacture a range of items that are capable of storing flux, allowing Eb users out in the field to regain flux at a much higher rate. You also have information on getting close. This is the term used amongst the Ebonite community for someone who has become so attuned to the Eb that they have begun to experience an uncontrollable pull to the call of the White. An Ebonite who is getting close will begin to hear voices, see visions, and suffer horrific nightmares capable of driving them insane. To represent this, once an Ebonite has more than 1 Eb discipline at rank 4, they will begin to experience dream demons. An Ebonite suffering from dream demons gains 1 rank in each of psychosis, paranoia, and psychosis delusions. In addition, the Game Master should feel free to provide details of specific images or messages which the character may find themselves becoming increasingly obsessed with. Dream demons can be controlled with the use of the drug White Noise. Now let's talk about the Eb disciplines. Each discipline grants the user a range of potential abilities which can be used during the course of a game. An Eb user has access to the abilities granted by each rank they have attained in a given Eb discipline. For example, rank 2 in Blast will provide access to the 2 rank 1 abilities, as well as the 2 rank 2 abilities. Like other skills, a higher rank represents more proficiency in the discipline, but also allows access to more powerful abilities. It's important to note that the actual capabilities of the Eb go far beyond the abilities described in this particular chapter, though those individuals whose skills have risen to such levels have either ascended to the Lycanthropy order or will have been pulled from active operative duty in order to utilize their powers for other means. The abilities listed here reflect the normal limits of an Ebonite in the operative role. So let's talk about some of these disciplines. We have things such as Awareness. Awareness deals with an Ebonite's ability to connect to and detect the Eb, as well as sensing other Eb users and recently used disciplines. Knowledge of Awareness allows Ebonites to track each other, to gain snapshots through the eyes of other Eb users, and even access the memories of the dead. So for example, at rank 1 you could use Detect Eb, which confirms the recent presence of Ebonites and the use of flux within the last 15 minutes and within 10 meters of the user. But at rank 4 you could use Death Seek. The user is able to retrieve images from the mind of the recently deceased. Physical touch is required to use Death Seek, and the user will receive images considered to be the vital events of the subject's final 24 hours, as well as their dying moments. Such images can be traumatic for the user, and excessive use of this ability can lead to psychosis. Then we have Blast. Blast is the art of manipulating the Eb for destructive and explosive means. At rank 1 you could use things such as Blast. A ranged attack can be used immediately, fired from the palm of the user's hand. But at rank 4 you could use Extreme Bomb. A grenade-like ranged attack to be used once, immediately and during the combat round, fired from the palm of the user's hand. You also have other things such as Enhance. Enhance is the art of physically manipulating an Ebonite's own body to increase strength, speed, or to form a natural weapon. So at rank 1 you could use Teeth or Claws. The user forms teeth and claws to use as weapons. At rank 4 you could transform into an Eb Beast. This is one of the most feared abilities of the Eb. The user becomes overtaken with a physical transformation into a large, snarling creature that only slightly resembles their former self. During this state, while the Ebonite is still loosely in control, their thirst for violence reaches paramountcy, and all reasoning is reduced. However, your physical capabilities are greatly enhanced. Then we have things such as heal, one of the most common and most respected of all ebb disciplines. An ebonite trained in heal can not only repair damaged tissue at a rate that far surpasses the greatest of medical care, but can also cure long-term illness and disease, and with enough training even resurrect those recently slain in the line of duty. So at rank 1 you could use heal injury. The ebonite can repair damage and improve their own state of well-being with ease. The user may instantly regain 3 hit points. Then at rank 4 you could use resurrect, one of the most respected abilities the ebb has to offer. The ebonite is capable of bringing back the recently deceased, as long as the subject has been dead for no longer than 5 minutes and is still whole. Then we have other things such as reality folding. Generally considered to be the most complex yet marvelous of all ebb disciplines, reality folding allows the user to instantly move between 2 points, literally hopping from one place to another in the blink of an eye. At its most basic level, it allows the ebonite to cross a room, but with training it becomes entirely possible to move over great distances, taking with them entire crowds of people. So for example, at rank 1 you could use object port. The user is able to relocate an inanimate object with a weight factor no greater than 2. The user must be able to touch the item. The item can be relocated to anywhere within their line of sight and no further away than 10 meters. At rank 4 you could use jump port 4, the highest level of jump porting an operative can attain, before being pulled from active duty and stationed aboard a jump ship. The user can now immediately relocate themselves to any other location within 1000 kilometers. No line of sight is needed, providing the ebonite has prior knowledge of the location and can picture it in their mind. There are many other things such as senses, telekinesis, thermal. This is just a small sample of the things that you can accomplish by wielding the power of the ebb. This concludes this part of the review. As you can see, you can do many things with these amazing powers, but there is a risk to it. The more powerful you become, the closer you get to madness and to being assaulted by dream demons. And that is without counting the plans that SLA Industries has for those that obtain too much power. Maybe they consider them a threat, or maybe they will use them as tools. Thank you for watching this part of the review. In the next part, we are going to talk about hardware, weapons, equipment, armor, etc. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that have been supporting the channel by sending drive-thru RPG gift certificates. If anyone else wants to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you and see you later.